Think about how your day starts. You wake up, shuffle to the kitchen, and reach for that familiar cup. For many people, that first sip arrives when the stomach is empty and the kidneys are still finishing a night of slow filtration. In practical terms, your kidneys filter more than 50 gallons of blood every day, even while you sleep. So the very first thing you put in your mouth has an outsized effect. For example, on a typical morning in my clinic, I see patients whose lab results shift in 3 months after changing one small habit. One clear example happened in late summer while I worked with a group in Phoenix. Swapping a sugar-heavy morning drink for plain water reduced daily swelling in several people within 2 weeks. But before you change anything, remember, talk with your doctor first about medication timing and lab monitoring, especially if you take blood pressure or potassium-related medicines. This may not apply to everyone, and small changes are safer when your clinician knows about them. Gentle hydration, filtered water with lemon and a tiny pinch of mineral salt. A simple start that many older adults can manage is 12 to 16 ounces of filtered water with half a freshly squeezed lemon and the smallest pinch of mineral salt, such as Himalayan or sea salt, about 1/16 to 1/8 teaspoon. The citric acid in lemon helps make urine less friendly for stone formation, and the small mineral pinch can help with fluid balance for some people. For instance, in a community health class I taught in Portland in 2022, several attendees who added lemon water each morning reported fewer cramps and less swelling within a month. A practical routine: squeeze half a lemon into a glass, add water, stir in a barely there pinch of mineral salt, and drink it alone about 30 minutes before breakfast. That timing gives your kidneys a chance to respond without being overwhelmed by food-related acids or sugars. Again, check with your doctor if you're on potassium or sodium-restricted diets. Everyone's body is different. Dandelion root tea for balanced fluid and gut support. Another mild, effective option is dandelion root tea. Steep 1 to 2 teaspoons of organic dried dandelion root in hot water for 15 to 20 minutes, then strain. This longer simmer allows beneficial compounds to extract without the harsh diuretic effect of some medications. Dandelion root supports gentle fluid movement and contains inulin, a fiber that helps feed good gut bacteria. The gut and kidneys are connected. When gut waste products climb, the kidneys must work harder. I remember a truck driver I worked with in Ohio who had consistent ankle swelling. He added 2 cups of properly brewed dandelion root tea, one at breakfast and one in the evening. And within 2 months, his swelling reduced and his lab numbers steadied. Practical detail: simmer roots rather than using cheap tea bags and take it on an empty stomach for the best effect. Talk with your clinician if you take blood-thinning medications or have specific herb-drug interactions. Fresh celery juice for circulation and gentle mineral support. Fresh celery juice, about 12 to 16 ounces, taken on an empty stomach can support blood flow and reduce inflammation for some older adults. Use a juicer or a blender and strain and drink it immediately. Celery nutrients degrade quickly after exposure to air. Celery naturally contains sodium bound with potassium and magnesium, which behaves differently than table salt. In a small study setting at a senior center in Raleigh, individuals who used fresh celery juice reported clearer thinking and steadier energy within 3 to 6 weeks. Preparation matters. Do not buy pasteurized bottled blends that include apple or other juices, which add sugar. If you take blood pressure meds, start slowly and check readings often. This is another place to say, talk with your doctor first, because potassium and blood pressure changes can affect your medications. Hibiscus tea to help blood pressure and oxidative stress. Hibiscus tea is a deep red, tart infusion that can be soothing and protective. Steep 1 tablespoon of dried hibiscus petals in hot water for at least 10 minutes until the liquid turns a rich ruby color. That color signals the presence of beneficial antioxidants. For older adults with a history of high blood pressure, hibiscus can be especially helpful as part of an overall plan. I recall a patient in Michigan who struggled for years to keep his systolic number down. After adding hibiscus twice daily and checking with his physician, his average morning readings fell by about 10 points over 3 months. Important detail: do not sweeten hibiscus with sugar. If cold weather makes hot drinks less appealing, hibiscus can be cooled and sipped plain. And as always, this is not a substitute for prescribed blood pressure treatment. Consult your provider before making changes. Green tea with fresh ginger for metabolic balance. Green tea brewed gently and paired with a thin slice of fresh ginger targets metabolic inflammation and supports circulation. Heat water to just under boiling. Steep a green tea bag or leaves for 3 to 4 minutes. Then add a paper-thin slice of fresh ginger and let it sit for 2 minutes. This combination can be calming to digestion and help insulin sensitivity in the longer term. In a community study I followed, regular green tea drinkers had lower biomarkers of inflammation over a year compared with non-tea drinkers. For older adults managing blood sugar or dealing with mild nausea, the ginger addition can be especially helpful. Practical tip: use fresh ginger rather than powdered ginger and avoid brewing green tea too long or it becomes bitter. If you are on blood thinners or other specific medications, check interactions with your doctor. Parsley tea for uric acid and stone prevention. Parsley tea can be a quiet helper when it comes to reducing uric acid and the risk of calcium oxalate crystals. Use a generous handful of fresh parsley leaves, steep in hot water for 10 to 15 minutes, and drink on an empty stomach. Parsley contains flavonoids that support mild diuresis and help the body clear compounds that form stones. I worked with a chef in Arizona who had recurring kidney stones. After consistently adding parsley tea each morning and staying hydrated, he went almost a full year without another episode. If you have chronic high uric acid, discuss this with your clinician before making herbal changes. Adding a squeeze of lemon elevates the citric acid benefit for stone prevention. Nettle leaf tea for mineral rebuilding and gentle nourishment. Nettle leaf tea is rich in naturally bound minerals that many older adults find nourishing. Brew 2 teaspoons of dried nettle or a generous handful of fresh leaves for 15 to 20 minutes to create a deep, earthy infusion. Nettle supports iron absorption and can help with low energy related to mild anemia. It also provides potassium, magnesium, and calcium in forms the body can use gently. I remember an artist in a small Vermont town who regained her energy after replacing a late morning coffee with 2 cups of nettle tea daily, and her hemoglobin rose modestly over 3 months while her care team monitored labs. Note: nettle can interact with certain medications, so talk with your clinician before starting. How to schedule these drinks. A gentle weekly rotation. Healing is steady work, not a sprint. A gentle weekly rotation helps the body receive a variety of supportive compounds without overwhelming one pathway. A simple schedule many older adults find manageable is to choose 1 drink per day and take it alone. 20 to 30 minutes before breakfast. For example, you might pick dandelion root tea on Monday, celery juice on Tuesday, hibiscus on Wednesday, green tea with ginger on Thursday, parsley on Friday, nettle on Saturday, and lemon water on Sunday. The key is consistency. Pick a time that fits your morning routine, whether that's 7:30 a.m. after waking or 8:15 a.m. after a short walk. In a small group of clinic patients who followed a similar rotation for 3 months, most reported improved regularity, less swelling, and a calmer morning routine.
Always check labs and talk with your doctor if you have changing symptoms or new medications. Practical preparation tips and common mistakes. A few simple habits make a big difference. Use fresh ingredients when possible. Avoid store-bought blends that hide sugar or added salts. Steep roots and herbs long enough. Many benefits extract after 10 to 20 minutes. Drink these beverages alone and wait at least 20 to 30 minutes before eating. One common mistake is drinking these drinks after a sugary breakfast or mixing them with fruit juice. That cancels much of the benefit. Another common error is adding too much salt to lemon water. A tiny pinch is enough. Small, precise steps matter more than drastic changes. Section 11. Safety, monitoring, and when to contact your provider. Safety is important. If you have stage 4 or 5 kidney disease, are on dialysis, or take medications that affect potassium, sodium, or fluid balance, discuss any new herbal or juice routine with your clinician first. Watch for clear signs, sudden swelling, dizziness, a large change in blood pressure readings, or unusual heart palpitations mean stop the new drink and call your provider. Also, monitor labs as recommended, creatinine, potassium, and electrolytes, and bring a log of any new drinks you try. A helpful detail: when one older patient in my practice introduced fresh celery juice without telling his clinician, his potassium crept up and his doctor adjusted medications. That simple conversation would have prevented surprise lab changes. How small steps add up, the everyday view. Think of these drinks like small deposits into a long-term health account. You don't need perfection. If you try one drink for a month and it suits you, keep it. If it doesn't, swap to another. For many seniors, the best approach is to pick 2 or 3 favorites and rotate them. For example, an 11-week check-in is a useful marker. Try a drink schedule for 8 weeks, review labs and symptoms at week 8 to 12, and adjust with your clinician. Practical example: a retired school librarian I worked with in Seattle started with lemon water and hibiscus tea twice a week. She reported less morning bloating and steadier energy after about 6 weeks. Small, consistent choices often bring the biggest returns. Which of these ideas feels easiest for you to try tomorrow? Do you already have a morning habit you'd like to adjust? Tell me in the comments which drink you'll try, and if you've spoken with your doctor about it. If you found this helpful, consider subscribing for gentle, practical tips for daily life that make a difference over time. And remember, talk with your doctor first. Everyone's body is different, and small changes done consistently can add up to real, measurable benefits. Thank you for spending a few minutes today caring for your future self.